Oh, hello guys. It is freaking, I don't know, I think it's like 10, maybe 11. I don't know. I've been playing Stardew Valley for like ever. I've lost track of time. I just know I'm really tired and I want to go to bed, but I have to do this before I go to bed. Anyway, so last night, right, where I stopped, it was like 2 in the morning when I was like, okay, I gotta go to bed, right? So I went to bed, and then I'm like, oh, like I saw like some kind of TikTok or whatever, and I'm like, ooh, I really want to draw right now. And I was like, okay, no, I have to get some sleep. And I laid in bed for like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, I've got to draw. I can't not draw or whatever, right? So I drew Jinx from Arcane. I've been really into her character design lately, and I also loved Arcane. It was so good. But yeah, I drew, what do you think? I feel, so this one looks like, Gina from freaking BoJack Horseman, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I feel like she looks like Gina, but I don't know why. And like, maybe it's her nose, or like the, I don't know why she looks like Gina and not Jinx. I think it's her nose. And then this one, I feel like her head's too small, but I also, like, that's what the picture looked like. This one, I feel like she looks like Victor. I think her face needs to be a little bit more squished. This one I like. Oh, that was the first one I drew. I was like, oh, dang, I ate. That's her hand, because she gets her little middle finger shot off. She's trying to flip someone off, but she can't, because she doesn't have a middle finger. It's very funny. That's her, that's like her last little, it's sort of like, that's her like one of the finale looks or whatever she has. Anyway, so yeah, I drew, and then I was like, oh, I'm kind of tired. I'm sure I'm bed. What time is it? 5 in the morning. I accidentally drew for a little bit too long there. That's hilarious. I really need to take a shower. But yeah. I mean, look at how cool she is, guys. She's so awesome. And look at my shading. Dude, I ate with that shading. Goodness gracious, especially this one. This one I'm like, oh, that, I ate down. Goodness gracious. Anyway, I was like, oh, pop off queen. Anyway, so went to bed. I was like, oh, well, I'd probably stay up and just like take my test early and do what I did with American Heritage, right? Couldn't stay up. I think around 7 I passed out. And I set alarms, but they did not go. They like, Siri didn't set them, so I'm like, okay, that was like, I didn't wake up till like 12, and I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And I like, basically, I got dressed, got up, and I basically just like studied and memorized all the formulas. I had it all down. I even like I had my scratch paper. I only brought my purse with like the scratch paper and pencils inside of it, because I was like, I don't need my backpack. And I set out. Yeah, like I literally, like I memorized everything for that stupid math final, all the formulas. I even got in and immediately wrote them all down. I had them all freaking memorized, and then I get into the test. I mean, like, I did pretty well, but it was like almost like every other question I was like, I think this is how it goes, because there's like, what's frustrating is the fact that like there's no textbook for this math course. I ranted with my mom about this, but there's no textbook for this math course. So we only have a workbook, and in that workbook, there's no answers to any of the questions in there, because like, I don't know, it's a workbook or whatever. Like, there's no, like, you don't get the answers. You can do it, you can do as many equations as you want to try, but you will never see the answers. There's like, you can't find the answers unless you like buy the actual like teacher's textbook or whatever, right? They just don't have answers. I'm like, excuse me. But yeah, it's like, it's literally the most frustrating thing ever, is because like, and you have to, and like any formula you get has to be given by the teacher, because they're not in the book, or like you have to get them from Google or whatever. It's so frustrating with this class, because I'm like, I'm good at math, but this teacher, he wasn't a bad teacher. It was the course, the curriculum, the way the class was structured is so bad. And it's like, and it's so stupid, because it's like, it's the literal like math education department teaching us. They're taught to teach math, and yet the way they structured the curriculum was the worst. I freaking grew up in South Carolina, one of the worst education places in the US, and it's just like, I learned math way better in there than I do here at this supposed like amazing school. I'm like, it's just the way they structured the class and the curriculum and like it was so dumb and so ridiculous, and I'm so glad I'm done with it. I got on the test, got a 76, and I was like, yikes, what is my grade? 82. I'm like, oh, don't have to retake it. I'm good. I'm fine with an 82. Oh my gosh, that class was so dumb. And that's like one of the only math classes I have to take, other than like biostatistics, which hopefully that'll be more fun. I don't know, we touched on some of that in bio, and I'm like, oh, this sucks so much. Because it's so boring. I'm not a math girly. I don't like math unless it's simple. Anyway, but yeah, no. That was dumb. And then I went back home. I tried to call my mom. She was at the dentist, so she didn't pick up. How dare she? I came back home. I hadn't eaten anything at all because I wasn't able to eat before I left, and I didn't eat. I missed the window for eating after, so I had to wait till 5 to go eat. That was fine. I was munching on like granola bars or whatever, protein bars or whatever they're called. They were pretty chill. And then yeah, I think I got home and I was gonna relax, and then I'm like, no, I need to take my religion final. I need to get it out of the way. I can't wait any longer. So I sat down and I did my religious final, and then my religion final, and then my mom called me, and so I talked to her while doing it, and then she hung up because she had to go somewhere. And I finished it, and then Evelyn called me at some point. I think she misclicked and she accidentally called me, and then I called her back, and then I was like, hey, what's up? And she's like, I'm pooping. I'm like, okay, don't gotta tell me twice. And then I finished my religion final. Doesn't matter what I got on it, just know that I ended the class with a 90, so we're chilling, we're fine. Yeah, yikes. But I mean, it's my own fault, so like I didn't study at all for that one. I was just like, oh, I'll use the scriptures. Not the brightest option, but anyway, I can make up for it in my other billion religion classes I have to take. But anyway, so yeah, after I finished that, I finished around like 5:30, went to go eat dinner. Yeah, dinner. I should have gotten more. I'm like so thirsty right now. I gotta go get some water. But yeah, oh man, I finished it and I was like, yes, college done and over with. First semester down. Now I just have to like chillax and wait and pack and like get ready to go. I'm so excited. Can't wait to go back home. And then I went to eat, came back, and then I played like Stardew Valley, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of tired. Let me go to bed, or like let me take a nap real quick. So I was like, I can take like power nap or whatever, right? Just because I knew I would wake up at least around like midnight, and I could film this or whatever. And then Brooke called me, and I was like, oh my gosh, Brookie, we've been talking to each other in like a week because of finals and all that stuff. She's got like midterms, I've got finals and all that fun wacky stuff. Anyway, so we called each other, we talked for like 30 minutes, we talked about her life. Oh my gosh. And then we talked about my life, and then we're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see you. I come back Thursday. She's like, ah. Anyway, it was very fun. And then I freaking, and then we hung up, and I was like, oh, let me play some more Stardew Valley. And so I played Stardew Valley until now. And I'm like, oh, I'm really tired. I really need to go to bed. So that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna sleep. Because I'm running on, how many hours? Probably like 5-6 hours of sleep. It's not that, people survive on worse. I've survived on worse. Anyway, so yeah, probably tomorrow I'm gonna go return my books, or at least try and sell them back if I can. I should be able to, but who knows? We'll see how crazy BYU is. Anyway, so yeah, that's fun. Yeah, like, I'm done. I'm done. I get to chillax, I get to sleep. I mean, I've already been doing that, but now I don't have to have stress looming over my shoulders. Dude, I'm so happy. And I get to go home. I can't wait for Christmas. I'm so excited for Christmas. I've not been able to celebrate Christmas, like, properly until now. Anyway, so, holy crap. What was I talking about? Who knows? Oh, yeah, that's right. The story I was gonna tell you guys. I didn't tell it to y'all yesterday. The Smiling Man. I'll tell it to y'all now. Okay. Ready for this? This one is not as freaky as the whatever it's called, right? The freaking Peking wife. That one was terrifying. It was scary. Anyway, this one's not that bad. It just gives me the like chills or whatever, right? Goosebumps. Anyway, So another story written by some guy, I don't know, creepypasta, whatever, right? So this guy, he used to go running. He used to live out in the city. He used to go running. He had insomnia, so he'd be up and he'd like go for a run around the block. Like just late at night when he couldn't sleep. He had roommates and stuff like that, but I don't think that's important. Anyway, so he'd go running the block every night, or every now and then when he couldn't sleep, just to like tire his brain out or something like that. And so there was this one night he went out around like 3 in the morning. He's running the block, and then all of a sudden he sees like this like guy who's like stumbling about, and he's like, oh, he's like, oh, he must be a drunk. So he switches to the other side of the road, and he realizes that the guy is, oh, I told that wrong, sorry. He doesn't switch to the other side of the road yet. He's running and he's like gonna get like goes to the side or whatever, and then all of a sudden he sees the guy isn't like, he's not like stumbling around, he's like waltzing, like, you know, the 1 2 3 1 2 3 back and forth, and you're like, wow, this man is literally plastered. And so he's like, oh, this is weird, maybe I should cross the street. And so he like kind of stops for a second, and then the guy who's dancing stops, and he's like, that's really weird. So then he crosses the street just because he's like creeped out, got the heebie-jeebies, right? And he gets to the other side of the street. He looks back to where the man was and gone. And then he's like, wait, where did he go? He looks literally across the street, and there's the man. And it would like how fast, because the street was pretty small, and how fast the man would have had to run to get to where he was standing right across the street from the guy. And without being hurt or anything by the other guy is freaky, right? And so the guy's like, that's really weird. So but he's watching the guy, and he's just like walking, and like watching him as he walks. As soon as he like feels like he's a good safe distance away, he looks in front of him. He looks in front of him, and then he looks back. The guy's gone. He's crossed the street, and now he's like dancing, walking towards him. And it's like really fast, and he's like kind of freaked out, so he kind of like starts to jog. And the dancing guy starts to run. And so this guy's bolting for his life. Literally like bolting for his life. And at one point he like stops, he thinks he's okay and whatnot, right? And he like looks back, and there's the man right in front of his face. And he's got like the creepiest smile, like most unhinged smile, goes like all the way up here, and his eyes are just like crazy. Like he looks insane. Like he looks like a crazy person, right? Guy screams, runs back to his apartment, and then never goes out on a midnight walk again. I know, not very scary, but like I also didn't tell it very well. Like there's like the writing is what makes it scary, because like all the details and the like pause and the suspense, and it's like but yeah, that one freaked me out. That's one of my favorite like creepy little stories to that one. Also, there's another story. Might as well give you some more, because like this is like 13 minutes long. There's also another story that freaks me out is skinwalkers. Guys, skinwalkers are the most terrifying things ever. Obviously, I don't know if they're real or not. They could be, but they couldn't be. They could not be. I don't know. Anyway, I just know they're freaky, right? There's this story about this these people, right? And there's this story about these people who went camping one night. They're up in the Appalachians. You know, the Appalachians are like known for being literally like the scariest things ever. Like you're not supposed to sing, you're not supposed to hum, you're not supposed to like talk, whatever. You shouldn't hike after like dawn and dusk or whatever. Like it's or, like before like dusk to dawn. You shouldn't. There's like all these rules and stuff. You're supposed to. It's freaky. The Appalachians are like the freaky place. Anyway, so they went hiking in the Appalachians. They set up their tents at night, right? And this guy, he's with his friend, right? And they're sleeping in the same tent, and he wakes up to this like breathing. He wakes up to and he thinks it's a bear. Because it sounds very like animalistic and like big. He's like, he's like, oh, it must be a bear going for, like, because I think they had like treats in the trunk or like of their car or something like that. He's like, oh, that's like, oh man, dang, should have like not done, I don't know. They're like, okay, whatever, let's just not go outside, not bother, right? And then all of a sudden he hears like footsteps, like human footsteps, and he's like, oh, must be my friend or something like that. He's like, why is he breathing weird or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden he sees outside of the tent, he sees 2 handprints and like two hands kind of like press against it, and like just he hears freaky, and then he's like freaking out because he's like, dude, that's so weird. Like, and he was actually like, he's about to like yell out to like tell his friend to knock it off because he still thinks it's his friend at this point. And then his friend who's sleeping right next to him puts his hand on his like arm, being like, hey, don't yell out, that's not me. Freaky. And he's like, and he's like freaking out. They're not freaking out, they're just kind of like petrified, being like, oh my gosh, please don't try and come in here. And then after he says like 15 minutes go by, they just like, he walks away, and he hears them walk away. And at this point, he notices the chirping of like the crickets come back. Like he realized that whole time not a single sound was like heard throughout the forest or anything like that other than the breathing. Like no chirping, no bugs, no freaking birds, no freaking trees crackling in the wind. Silent. Yeah, anyway, so that was freaky. When they wake up in the morning, and it was like, it snowed, and there was like fresh snow prints, fresh footprints in the snow, walking up to their like tent and whatever, but there's no prints going away. Anyway, that's a good story. I like that one. Anyway, that's probably enough for stories, right? I should go get some water because I'm literally so freaking thirsty right now. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow.